All right, so the lesson objective, students will write prime factorization of numbers and find the greatest common factor of monomials. So first we'll review doing prime factorization. If I want to write the prime factorization of 98, I can do that using a factor tree. So we just had that on our 5-a-day, and we said it was 2 times 49, right? And then 49 we can break down to 7 times 7. So 98, what I do is I just take everything on the outside of that tree there. I've got 2 and 7 and 7. So 98 is equal to 2 times 7 squared. Does that make sense? So that's my prime factorization of 98. All right, so let's see here. Got some more. Set this one aside for now. All right, so another example. Now I'm going to do 40. So again, if I use my factor tree, what goes into 40? 10 and 4, right? And then 10 I can break into 5 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2. So it's 5 times 2 times 2 times 2. And it's standard to write it in order, so I'm going to actually write the 2's first. So 40 equals 2 to the 3rd power times 5. Any questions on that? All right, so here's a pretty easy one for you guys. Write the prime factorization. Okay, so it looks like most of you were getting that no problem. That one was just 3 times 11. Okay, so we got that. All right, let's do one that's a little bit more challenging than that one.
Yeah.
On your whiteboards, factor 126. Well, it's an even number, so what should you start with? 2, and go from there. Okay, so when you guys divided that by 2, what'd you get? 63, which is 7 times 9, which is 3 times 3. So 126 ends up equaling 2 times 3 squared times 7. Greatest common factor. What is the biggest number that will divide evenly into both numbers? So if I want to find the greatest common factor of 60 and 100, what I can do is I can write out all the factors of 60. So all the factors of 60, 1 goes into it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. And if I write out the factors of 100, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, and 100. So the greatest common factor is what number is on both lists that's the biggest number. So we've got several numbers that are on there, right? They both have 1s, they both have 2s, they both have 4s and 5s and 10s and 20. If I go past 20, are there any bigger ones? No. So the greatest common factor in this case then is 20. So a lot of these you guys actually get used to doing in your head, probably. But if you're dealing with larger numbers, sometimes it's easier if you factor it out and figure out the greatest common factor. You can also do it with factor trees, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But on your whiteboard, first of all, show me what you think the GCF of 12 and 16 is. So this you can probably do in your head. All right, looks like you all agree the GCF is 4. All right, now we're going to do 78 and 104, and I'm going to show you how you can do it with a factor tree. So let's see here. So 78, it's even, right? So 2 is going to go into it. 2 times what? Two times 39. Okay, can I break 39 down? What divides into 39? 3, right? 3 times 13. All right, so now I'm going to do 104. So again, it's even. So we know 2 and then 52. That's even again. So 2 times 26, which is 2 times 13. So then I look and see what's in common between the two of them. They both have a 2. 78 has a 3, but 104 doesn't. 78 has a 13, and so does 104. And that's all that they have in common, right? The 2 and the 13? Does everybody agree? So that means the GCF is going to be 2 times 13, or 26. Any questions there? All right, on your whiteboards, you guys do that one. All right, this one's throwing you guys for a loop. All right, so if I break down 24, 24 is what? What times what? 2 times 12? Okay. And 4 is 2 times 2, right? All right, now for 120, that's 2 times 60, right? Which is 6 times 10. So we got 2 times 3 and 2 times 5. All right, so let's see what we've got going here. There's a 2, there's a 2. There's a 3, there's a 3. There's a 2, there's a 2. There's a 2, there's a 2. Okay, so the greatest common factor is 2 cubed times 3, right? Which is 24. So 24 actually goes evenly into 120, so the greatest common factor would just be 24. A lot of you were telling me 12. Okay, I think you guys need to do another one, because a lot of you didn't get the right answer on that one. All right, so let's find the GCF between 36 and 84. Okay, so another way you could look at this is if you list them in a row. So 36 came out to 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, right? And 84 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. Okay, so they're overlapping on those 3, right? 2 times 2 times 3, that equals 12. So the GCF is 12. All right, now we're going to do it with monomials. So it's the same idea. You want to find the biggest number. You want to find the biggest number that'll go into 9 and 15, and then you figure out what's the most exponents that you have, basically. So if I write out my factorization for each of those, 15x cubed, that's 3 times 5 times x times x times x, right? And 9x squared is 3 times 3, and then I just have 2 x's. So I look at where they're overlapping, where they have the same thing. They both have a 3, and they both have 2 x's. So 3 times x is my GCF. When you guys get more comfortable with these, you'll actually be able to do this in your head. I'm just showing it to you with all the steps so you understand where it comes from, okay? But I know you guys are going to be able to do these in your head before long. Okay, so let's do another one. All right, now I've got 18g squared and 27g cubed. So if I break down 18, That's 9 times 2, right? Which is 2 times 3 times 3. And then I have 2 G's. Then for 27, that's 3 times 3 times 3. And then there's 3 G's also. So now if I look at where they overlap, I've got a 3, a G, and a G. So 3 times 3 times G times G. So that means that my GCF is 9G squared. Okay. Any questions on that? So you see how my exponent ends up being just whatever the smallest exponent is? And then you guys knew that 9 goes into 18 and 27, right? So you can do it in your head. All right, sometimes you might have a situation like this one where there's no common factor. If there's no common factor, then your greatest common factor is just 1, okay? Because if I factor this out, I get 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x. Here I just get 7 times y times y times y. They have nothing in common, do they? Right. So I want you guys to try doing this one on your whiteboards. Give me the greatest common factor between 12x and 28x cubed. So what's the biggest number that goes into 12 and 28? And then what's the smallest exponent? Show me your answer on your whiteboards. Yes. Okay, so the biggest number that goes into 12 and 28. Okay, the biggest number that goes into 12 and 28 is what, everybody? 4. And what's the most x's I can take out? Just 1. So the GCF is 4x. Okay? So your homework tonight, you're going to be reviewing as well as doing some of this new stuff too. All right? That's all I have for today.